Increasing efforts to end injustice. That was the goal of a virtual panel Nevada Attorney General Aaron Ford held this afternoon in the wake of George Floyd's death. 8 News Now reporter Orko Manna joins us live in the newsroom now with what local officials say needs to change here. Orko.
Well, Sasha, as we're seeing from protests all across the country, including here in Las Vegas, the nation is grappling with what happened to George Floyd. He died while in police custody in Minneapolis. Now, Nevada's legislative leaders are working to figure out how to address injustices when it comes to law enforcement agencies here locally. A.G. Ford and members of the Nevada State Assembly talked about potential legislation addressing accountability, training, and hiring for law enforcement, as well as the use of force. They discussed a further expansion of body cameras to include officers in special units who are not currently required to wear body cameras. We saw an example of that just this week during an officer-involved shooting near the Lloyd George U.S. Courthouse. Also, in terms of accountability, there was some talk about creating a statewide use of force investigation process. Right now, only individual departments have their own systems of looking into excessive use of force cases. There was also a discussion about encouraging more diversity in the hiring process by removing certain barriers and implementing more racial bias and implicit bias trainings. They say concrete action needs to be taken now to end the injustice.
What we're talking about here is a cancer. And when you have a cancer, you have to get rid of it or it infects the whole body. And so I think we have to take it serious and be committed to addressing it internally so that officers feel comfortable holding their own accountable, because that doesn't reflect what a majority of our law enforcement community stands for.
Legislative leaders also talked about possibly creating a new law enforcement oversight committee that would work with both the Attorney General's office and different cross sections of the community. The goal of all these ideas to help keep our communities safe. In terms of what can actually be done, many people on the panel say they're already getting the ball rolling on many of their ideas. A lot of it depends on the state budget, but they're hoping to address the injustice issues during the next legislative session.